From potentially introducing Mayday Parker to carry forward Peter's legacy to bringing back some of the best Spider-Man villains the MCU has ever had,
Hello, Peter.
here are some of the reasons why Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 needs to happen. They gave us a bit of him in the MCU's latest Spider-Man movie, and now fans want more. You'd have a pretty hard time finding a Spider-Man fan who doesn't love Maguire's Spider-Man. The beloved actor returned to the big screen after over a decade in Tom Holland's Spider-Man No Way Home. But now that he's made an official reappearance in the new franchise, fans think that more of his story deserves to be told in Spider-Man 4. When No Way Home came out, it brought all three of Sony's Spider-Men together for the first time in cinematic history.
Yelling at you, Peter too. I know, but I thought you were Peter too. What? I'm not Peter. Stop arguing, both of you. Listen to Peter one.
But this was a lot more than just simple fan service. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's respective Spider-Men progressed as individual characters. The film reminded viewers why the previous iterations of Spidey were so loved in the first place, and served as a great way to honor all three franchises, rather than pitting them against each other. In their own way, Maguire and Garfield caught viewers up with what their characters had been up to since their last movies. While Garfield wanted to explore his version of the superhero in detail, Maguire went the other way. He revealed little about his Spider-Man since the events of Spider-Man 3, but even that was done tactfully. In Maguire's case, Peter Parker talked about his ongoing relationship with Mary Jane Watson. Other than that, there's a lot more that a fourth part could cover. Essentially, the short return of his character renewed viewer interest in seeing him in another solo film of his own. And viewers aren't the only ones who want this to happen. The trilogy's cast members are just as eager to return. Tobey Maguire, for one, is super enthusiastic about it, to the point that he's even brought it up unprompted in at least one interview. And it's not just him. His co-star and love interest in the films, Kristen Dunst, seems totally up for it as well. She even expressed her disappointment about there not being a place for her in No Way Home. But considering the importance of her role in Raimi's saga, as well as Maguire's brief reference to his relationship with her in No Way Home,
We made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and MJ.
she'd definitely reprise her role if a Spider-Man 4 was to be filmed. Even the villains are down. Willem Dafoe was one of the many villains who reappeared in No Way Home and reminded us why he's one of Marvel's best live-action supervillains ever.
That's some neat trick. That sense of yours.
He too has talked about being interested in returning to his double role as Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin in a potential fourth installment, provided that it's handled properly, of course. With Sam Raimi's direction, that's already a given. Luckily, the legendary director recently returned to Marvel with his work in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The film proved to superhero movie fanatics that the man is still as well suited to the genre now as he was back in the 2000s. Raimi himself has recently expressed his happiness at seeing Maguire's Spider-Man return to the big screen. So now that we've got both the actors and the director from the original trilogy up for the task, this has got to happen, right? Especially so we can see a battle I can't help but feel we were robbed of in No Way Home. Of course, we're all super grateful that we got to see Maguire and Dafoe return to their iconic roles, but we missed out on something huge there. Maguire's Spider-Man didn't get the chance to fight the Green Goblin. What an epic fight that would have been. But now that we know that Dafoe is willing to return to his role, provided that the character is done justice, along with the fact that the comics actually give the creators a great reason to bring Dafoe back, Spider-Man 4 makes perfect sense. In the comics, Norman Osborn survives his impalement and returns to manipulate other villains before actually returning himself. Spider-Man 4 can easily take up an established villain from spin-off material like Raimi's Spider-Man video games, or even introduce a whole new one before revealing the Green Goblin to be the puppet master controlling everything behind the scenes.
What do you want?
To say what you won't, to do what you can't, to remove those in your way.
And that's not all they could take from the comics. They could introduce another protagonist to continue Spider-Man's legacy. Like I mentioned earlier, Maguire's Peter revealed in No Way Home that he and Mary Jane were still together. With their relationship being a pivotal part of the original Raimi franchise, Spider-Man 4 would have the potential to take that relationship in a whole new direction. As the oldest of the three Spider-Men, Maguire's Spider-Man and Dunst's Mary Jane's story could be explored in an entirely different way. They could be shown to be parents of children with superpowers, following the stories of Tom DeFalco's MC2 comics, which would involve the introduction of Mayday Parker, the future Spider-Girl. Peter and MJ would still be the protagonist of the fourth installment, of course, but Mayday's origins could give them new conflicts to deal with, which would also guarantee the future of Raimi's series. According to the comics, Mayday is born with the same powers as her father, and she wants to use them to help people in the same way that he does. But her parents, understandably so, don't want her to follow in Peter's footsteps. As we've already seen, it's not the easiest or safest job, so most of the film would focus on Spider-Man. But introducing Mayday would ensure to viewers that New York will always be protected, even after Spider-Man himself is gone. At the same time, it'd also set up a potential Spider-Girl movie. They could do all this by partially and loosely using the Clone Saga from the comics. After all, this wouldn't be their first time using a controversial comic book arc for a film adaptation. I'm talking about No Way Home. That one is based on One More Day, one of the worst Spider-Man comic stories to have ever been made. And look what they managed to turn that into. No Way Home is now one of the most popular movies in the franchise. If Spider-Man 4 follows the same formula, bringing back the key cast members while also continuing to tell the story of Maguire's Spidey, I'm sure that would set up a great future for Raimi's franchise. From a business perspective, this sounds like a solid plan to me. Realistically speaking though, what would be the odds of bringing Maguire back? With the introduction of the multiverse, it seems a lot more likely.
All right, fine. Everyone in the world's gonna forget that you're Spider-Man, except your girlfriend.
Thank you so much.
With the recent success of No Way Home, as well as the Doctor Strange sequel, the MCU has fully embraced the concept of the multiverse. And with the multiverse, you've got endless possibilities for more crossovers and team-ups. We saw that unfold fully in No Way Home, and I'm sure it's not going to end there. Even if Maguire doesn't get his own movie, there's always the possibility of him showing up in another one of Marvel's movies. And you could say the same for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man series may have been the least popular of the three, but No Way Home has fans wanting more of even that.
What are we gonna do about this thing?
Well, we need to find somewhere safe for it, right?
Yeah.
They've started to ask for a third installment to the films, mainly because of how likable Garfield is in the role.
Oh! Hi. Hi. No. It's okay. I'm a nice guy.
There's a lot that a third potential movie could cover, like exploring Peter dealing with Gwen's death, becoming vengeful, and then his journey after No Way Home. Again, the possibilities are endless. That's all I've got for you today on 5 reasons Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 4 needs to happen.